Hello, sorry for the delay. Today we're going to, last time we played around a little tiny bit with this train. The route is a bit broken graphically for me. And then we did a little bit of this train, but the route was in fog mostly. So now we're going to do a bit with this train, which is basically the same train, only it's apparently slightly different. Because this is Flirt 3 and this is Flirt 3B. Sure. Maybe a different length of the consist, who knows. I was thinking we'd do this scenario. It's just under an hour, and it says, on a very hot summer day, you are tasked to take an RE2, which is Regional 2, I'm assuming, service from Boppard Hauptbahnhof to Mainz Hauptbahnhof. I hope that this is the bit of the route that goes along the river with the valley, like that's really forested and quite curvy, but I haven't had the time to check, so let's try this. Hello, I'll bust through, welcome. Kangafango, hello. Frankfurt, Koblenz. B, for basically the same. Good point. Oh, this train is experiencing a lot of force, a lot of acceleration. It's experiencing 1,662 G. That's impressive. Mühlhausen, which translates to mill town or mill homes or houses. Press. Okay. Nothing happened. MVR IRL? Wait, what? MVR IRL? No. Not yet. I'm not ready. I don't want to go. Although I did make a lot of progress on polishing the MVR today. I think I finished laying all the invisible roads on the painted on roads so that cars actually drive on them. And I also did the majority of the work putting like street lights putting streetlights on the streets in New Penzance. So I've done all the bit from the Hauptbahnhof at the end, the main station at the end, all the way to where, basically all the way on the western side of the tracks, up to, hold on, that doesn't look like summer. I thought it was supposed to be a clear day today. Maybe the weather changes, we'll see. Yeah, I did all the way to where it transitions to the suburban area from the kind of downtown industrial, and on the other side I've done it all the way to the industrial area, and I've done a section of the industrial area as well. Putting the VR and MVR. Stream title: what's your Polish brand of choice? I don't know many Polish brands, sorry. I might know a different kind of brand from a different country, but not Polish, I think. An hour of Train Simulator. And while we're at it, what's your Polish brand of choice? Well, Polish brand of choice, I've no idea. These folks. Reference to this, yeah. Oh, congratulations when are we due to another screenshot of my road? Well, you got one today. It's with the spline points. Anyway, hello, driver. It's a hot summer day today, and you've already done a long shift from Süwex Flirt 3 in the Süwex Flirt 3. Your last duty for today is to take this RE2 service between Boppard and Mainz. Additional stops are required at Oberwessel, Bacharach. What? Bacharach, yeah. And Bingen Hauptbahnhof, and Ingelheim. Bacharach is an interesting name. Please let the passengers board here before you leave. Okay. And there we... Oh, it meant the train. Okay. The sky still looks very overcast. I thought it was supposed to be clear day today. Ah, that's because it's a graphical glitch. Look. Apparently this route has some slight graphical glitches today as well. If I look this way, looks fine. If I look that way, it's probably, I don't know, it's some object that's not rendering properly. Very unfortunate. I hope to remember at least partially what the signals do. I think that one means danger, right? That aspect. Looks fine to me. I think you might want to have a word with your optician. Danger! Shadow dice incoming. Yeah, it does look like this is going to be an interesting bit of the route. Okay, let me quickly change that down to 120. And then floor it, because we want to actually stay on the rails. But yeah, a little quick look at the map view. So yeah, this is the bit of the route, this quickly bit where it goes along this valley, this forested valley. And that's the bit that I wanted to drive anyway, so it looks like this is going to be part of what we're going to be driving on today, so I'm quite happy about that. It's actually pretty Patel. No! No! I've told you my optician's name before. Well, you have now. Shutters also really like those small side windows next to the main one. Those down there, you mean? Yeah. And there we go. That looks nice. Though I wish they went all the way up. Yeah, the electric trains do tend to accelerate quite quickly as compared to other trains. Almost as if there's some sort of benefit to having your power plant not located within each train, but rather stationary somewhere and then supplying power to the... Actually, that's atmospheric railways, isn't it? That's the idea behind atmospheric railways. I think we should get... Oh, okay, that signal's clear. I want to get a thumbnail here, potentially. 1 second. Nope, stop. I don't want you to go yet. No, 1 second. No. Zoom back out. How's that? Looks okay. Oh, ICE. There's a lot going on this route. Actually, look, you can put your head out the window as well, which I doubt that you can do in the real thing if the window is intact, but in this version you can. Okay, I need to increase the speed set thingy. I don't know what the actual technical term for it is in these specific trains. Like the speed set, cruise control, IFB thing. Set up to 130. That's clear. Summer has come. Say hello to her for me, if you like. Nächste Station, Oberwessel. Next station, Birmingham. This looks quite nice, doesn't it? Kind of snaking through the town. Also, the distance is clear. Maybe we can try taking another screenshot over here or something. Although I'd have to do that relatively quickly because my train is fast approaching. Lovely. Okay, distant is clear. There's a 100 coming up. Hey. Birmingham, go back. Go back? Never. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts. Pfha. Now, picture this. Leaving at platform 4 is the 2330 to Birmingham via Slough. Oh, look, they've got little flowers. Well, normal-sized flowers. Yeah, if I did make a kind of German themed route, it would likely be feature things like this quite prevalently. Just kind of a double track mainline kind of snaking its way through a valley at high speeds with lots of super elevation and stuff like that. Okay, that repeater was clear. Okay, let's keep it there for now. I'll reduce the speed set to 110. Quite scenic, isn't it? Yeah, it is. And hey, look, they've even got water reflections. This kind of reminds me of Dawlish with a seawall a bit, where the train goes on the elevated bit beside the water in the town. Like Constantine? Not entirely sure what you mean by that. Although I assume it's named after the Roman Emperor. There's a little bit of Dawlish in every town. Yeah. On the left. No, that's, I think that's the mine, isn't it? The river? Oh, look! I like how the other trains outside do sound dampened. Not as in they sound moist, but the sound sounds subdued inside. Like consonants. Muffled, there we go, that's the word. Well, it says that's on the Rhine, not on the mine, and I think this is the mine, yes? And I did check that signal, mwahaha. And look, they've even got the catenary zigzagging back and forth, most of the time anyway. Yeah, there we go, it started zigzagging back and forth again. They do that so that the pantograph gets worn evenly and it doesn't create a rut, which then the wire would act like a saw if it were to just continuously go along that. So that's why it zigzags back and forth. If I actually go back a little bit to where the pantograph is, if I can find it. Come up, there we go. Oh look, it even sparks! I never knew that. That actually sparks in this. Yeah, you can see, well actually now that it's going around a corner it's not really zigzagging much, but when it goes back to the straight, yeah, now you can see it starts zigzagging a little bit back and forth across it. Now you should be able to see it a bit clearer once it's actually on the straight. Yeah, you can kind of see it here. Although now we've got a nice straight section. Although there's a 90 coming up. Hold on. I need to show you. Yeah, there you go. Now you can see it zigzagging back and forth properly on the straight. Which if I ever do... Well, I will. But when I next make an electric route, assuming it's a at least somewhat modern route, I will do that as well. I could imagine that this might also be quite a nice route to drive at night, with the car, with the road going by so closely with the cars and all the buildings, assuming that they've got lights on in the windows. There's the warning sign, which actually it's quite nice that they've got these sort of warning, these kind of Morpeth board-esque signs. But yeah, listen to how differently this sounds outside to inside. There we go. Now to set the speed set thing back down to 90 and floor it. Right. Alright, I was thinking of this. Terrain Simulator, Lake Constance, Schaffhausen, Kreuzlingen, Route Daron. Kreuzlingen. Oh, right, that. Yeah, that does look nice as well, that route. But yeah, I mean, the next route I make in trains will of course be the UK Third Rail Network thingy route. We've still got 7 kilometers to go to Oberwessel, which implies that there's an Unterwessel, which sounds hilariously similar to Unterwäsche, which is underwear. Oh look, that tunnel entrance, it's kind of like the one on the Brighton line with the tower. Reminded me of it. Ahem. Right, Lake Constance route does exist for Transit Classic, but not this one. Yay, arcing! I thought you said, yay, acting. And I was about to make a joke about D&D, about the D&D film, but now I can't. I also like the actually spinning fan blades on the roof. Yeah, it's nice. Shadows. Oh, will your next mainland European route, electric route, be set in Russia or Eastern Europe? Probably not. It's probably going to be set in Germany, or perhaps, if I can find enough rolling stock and signals and all that sort of thing, it might be nice making a route for those older French electric locomotives. You know, the ones with the kind of Z-shaped profile on the front. That might also be nice, making something for those, but probably German, because I do quite like the look of a lot of the German trains. I mean, the ICE, of course, or those red electrics and that sort of thing. Also, some of the older DMUs, some of which are quite rust bucket-y, because I remember riding them. And so making something for those assets, making a route that is actually fun to explore, does sound nice. Especially since most German routes that already exist are kind of boring, because Germany is, well, relatively flat and sure, I mean, the most of it, of course in the south you get the Alps and that sort of thing, but most of it is kind of flat and not very interesting, at least in my opinion. So giving a lot of those trains an actually a route that is not just interesting scenery-wise, but that has a variety of scenery to it. Does sound like fun. Although then I'd probably have to use those old, I think, Eastern European signals, unless the scripting bugs have been fixed for Service Pack 5 with the modern ones. Because the ones from the what was it called? The route that that came with... Did it come with trains? I think it came with trains, yeah. The German one. What was it called? I forget what it's called now. Oh yes, I can see Oberwessel. Yeah, the signals on that route do work. But they're just so complicated with which lights, combination of lights means which speed you can go or which speed you can expect to go, or all that sort of stuff. I'll say I'm going to just let it coast for a bit. I'll read chat when we're stopped at Oberwessel. Luckily, this route is mostly glitch-free, visually speaking. But this looks like such a nice town to visit. Okay, let's start decelerating. About 30% brake. Sounds reasonable for the time being, I think. Maybe a little bit more, 45%. It's a little tricky for me to gauge speeds in kilometers per hour because I'm used to them in miles per hour. Okay, I think we're going about 40 miles per hour now, which means we should be going around 30 coming into the platform, which going 50 kilometers per hour seems reasonable, I think. Ooh, do we have some of those Halte signs? Not entirely sure. Let's apply a little bit more brake, 60%. Sounds reasonable. And we're coming to a nice, smooth, gradual stop. Doors open. I'm quite happy with that stopping. Unless there is a... Nope, I can't see any sort of Halte sign. Although that does look quite nice, doesn't it? Oh, I thought I pressed, didn't I? Press? There we go. Oh, that didn't work. 1 second. Okay, I'll save, and then I'll read chat. Right. I realized that you didn't ask people's plans on Friday, Paradise. Oh, did I not? I guess something or someone must have been distracting me. Oh, Brighton, hello. Where Brighton? No, not a where Brighton. That sounds horrific. I'll be out of a job on Monday. But oh well, I'm happy about it. Does D&D start this week? I mean, from my perspective, yes. I would be ready. Actually, let's get going because the scenario does take an hour, and with frame rates, it might take a little bit longer anyway. But so, I would be ready. It's just a question of people getting their characters finished and giving me bits of their backstory in time. Because when I start a new campaign, my kind of workflow is do some of the groundwork world building wise to have enough of a foundation, and then allow people to make their characters and bits of the backstory so that I can then implement plot hooks and adventure beats into the beginning adventure that tie into people's backstories, so that the characters have, well, hopefully have a vested interest in what's going on beyond, oh, this sounds like we can make money. But unless that is just the backstory, but yeah, because that also makes it easier for the players themselves to get into that. So at the moment, I'm still waiting on that bit. And then once I've got that info, then I'll be able to come up with a beginning with a starting adventure and plot hooks and that sort of thing, which shouldn't take me too long, and then we can start. It just depends on the players. So far, Mr. W is the only one who's gotten back to me about bits of the backstory and kind of that sort of thing. I know that Willis has been feeling under the weather, so that's another thing to consider. If Willis isn't feeling great by this week, then we'll postpone it. Also depends on whether Willis would be able to get back to me about character stuff in time as well. Now, Kango, I mean, you can tell me, like, I think you've got an idea of what class and race you'd like to play, but beyond that, I don't think you've got much done yet. And for ME2, it's pretty much the same. So, to answer your question, I would like to begin that this week, but I don't know if it would be possible, and two, if all of the others also want to do that, or if the others would like to push it back another bit. Because I think Kango, didn't you mention something about wanting to do a bit more with those Discord games? Because if we do switch Wednesday with Thursday, then we wouldn't have that slot anymore for those things. And so the tactic of not getting back to me about character stuff for ages, so that we can have another Discord party games stream, might be a wise one if that is your goal. Also, we're coming up on Bacharach, platform 1. Should probably slow down a little bit faster, although the slight stuttering the game is experiencing does make it feel like I'm traveling slower than I actually am, so I'll just apply the brakes a bit more harshly than I otherwise would. I really got through a lot of chat during Oberwasser, or whatever it was called. Oberwessel, or whatever. Yeah, I slowed down a little bit too much there, I think. This bit reminds me of some of those downtown London overground sections where the tracks are going on elevated level between the houses and buildings and things like that. Are we on time? Yeah, we are. We've got 10 seconds to come to a stop here. Well, 4 seconds if we want to be pretty much completely on time. So now I'll slam on the brakes. Actually, oh, we're gonna miss some cars. No, I'm gonna accelerate a little bit because I want to get all the cars on. I'd rather be slightly late than have people not be able to exit in the rear cars. well, coaches. There we go. Now stop. Okay, we're 25 seconds late stopping. That's not terrible. Very nice. This route does have quite a bit of detail. Luckily, it's got the 2D sleepers, but it does give a little bit of a performance hit, especially while streaming. Anyway, really happy, yes. Shadows could set the route on the French-German-Switzerland border? Maybe, but then I'd have to deal with all of those kind of signaling systems and catenary stuff and all of those things. About D&D's scheduling, I'm not certain yet. Plan originally was to have Monday and Wednesday be Minecraft and to have Friday be D&D, although that would mean that we'd have to part with the party game slot for about 8 weeks until the campaign's over, and I'd really prefer not to do that. So I would be up with just leaving all slots as they are, apart from my Friday's MC, which would be replaced by D&D. Well, yeah, but the thing is, when we added the second Minecraft slot, everybody was so happy to be able to play that together, just to hang out and play that together as is. And now that Albastru's got a license, if we drop the second slot, then that's going to cut Albastru's time being able to play in half. And that's not really fair either. Plus, of course, it also wouldn't be fair to you, but you were the one making the suggestion. We need to increase that slightly to, well, we're going down to 120 anyway, so there's probably not much point in accelerating to 130 at this point. Yeah. So, because the thing is, with D&D, of course, we would, like most of us, except for Albastro, would be in voice chat together still. But that would be largely, specifically focused on playing that game and role-playing and the story and all that sort of stuff. So it wouldn't really be just us hanging out talking as friends. Yeah. Of course that's unfortunate, but it wouldn't be forever. I'd imagine we would be returning to current schedule again after the game. But the 8 weeks is just the intended length. It could be that it's shorter than that if we come to a satisfying conclusion to the what will be an overarching plot between the sessions a bit sooner, or if things don't go as quickly, or if there are some loose threads that would like to be tied up or stuff like that, then it might go a bit longer. It's just a thing to aim for. Also, hello, Code Monkey, welcome. I did not exceed the speed limit once yet. Also, let me save. Well, I do still need to make my character for it, but I'd probably be able to have it ready for the coming week. Especially if it'd be on Friday. But well. Poor weed. Right, someone should make a scenario where you deliver weed killer to the station. No, I like the plants growing between the tracks. It makes it feel more alive. Welcome though. I can try 2 places at once. You can. Tornado Guy 21, hello, welcome. Also, Mr. Snipes, hello. I placed a few hundred street lamps today on the MVR. By the book, Moneyism? Officially, yes. A kind offer, but I wouldn't want you to take any fun out of the game, take any of the fun of the game away from yourself, just for me. Yeah. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Hello, yes, it's been a while. A man with a bag wanders into town. He seems distant. Rumors spread about what's in the bag. Could it be elf heads? Troll marbles? Watermelons? I'm sure it's all of the stolen furniture from the king's castle, because the bag is a bag of holding, and it's able to contain all that furniture without increasing in weight, because bags of holding have a constant weight no matter how much is contained within them. Shadai's Wednesday with Thursday? Oh, did I say Wednesday with Thursday? I meant Wednesday, switch Wednesday with Friday. Sorry. I'm not that evil. Well, if you say so. About my character, yeah. I do have an idea of what race and class I'd like to play. Not got any backstory on it. Mr. W, being a writer, did likely help him think of stuff for his more easily. Well, yes. Perhaps. And I've not yet started building my character. Anthony Sarson, too? Hello. It's been a while since I've had a bot in chat. Yeah. Personally, I'd rather swap party games for Minecraft for the time being. It's only temporary. Yeah, and I think that's probably what the others would prefer as well. But of course, it's your slot, Kango, so your choice at the end of the day. Can I play Merchant with poor charisma? I mean, if you were in the game, then sure. But you're not currently. Shardais, how do you stay motivated to stream so much? I literally wouldn't have motivation to stream once a month. Well, a large part of it is the people in chat. That is a truly significant part of it. If chat were empty, then I'd probably just do the MVR stuff because of, well, me wanting to finish the project and also trying to build a community with the archives and stuff like that as well. But other than that, well, also probably the Minecraft stuff because that's hanging out with friends, so it doesn't really matter whether that's streamed or not from that point of view. Also, I forgot the 1:30, so I'm probably going to be late. But yeah, other than that, it's the people in chat. I see. I do get that, and I really don't want to cut the MC time per week in half. Especially now that you're also in the game. Yeah, and also for you, you wouldn't be cutting it in half, you'd be cutting it in full. Yes, that makes sense, trust me. Approaching Bingen Hauptbahnhof. Also, I will reduce that, and then manually brake a bit. There we go, that's plenty. Probably spilled some teas in the back, but that's fine. The cleaning people need to have a job after all. And so does the... what's the word I'm looking for? The... refunds department. Kango, have you ever missed any of Sharadice's streams? Well, that's a question for you. As long as there's a little bit of time where we're all together causing chaos, I don't mind how it plays out. Yeah. Still no, haha. Legend has it, the start streaming button requires 2 keys to unlock, and one is held by Kango Fango. Technically not as untrue as you might think. Oh, there we go, we've got a bot. Wanders into the game with join game spell. Actually, I was looking through homebrew spells on, I think it was on Reddit, and I found a spell, a homebrew spell, which when, I think it was a ritual or something, when it was cast or completed, it turned the game, the player whose character cast it into the game's GM, and it could not be reversed in any way whatsoever, according to the text. So I think that's probably added by someone who's sick of being the GM all the time and finally wants one of the players to do it. Although I do like the idea of a player's character becoming the GM. Not the player, but the character. And then you need to roleplay what that character would be like, essentially, if that character were in charge of the universe. And if the character's sole or primary motivation would be to make the lives of the other player characters as interesting as possible. Oh, the platform ends a little sooner here than it does on the bottom. Well, on the bottom it ends sooner than it does here. Interesting, yeah, because these doors aren't opening. No, what's our final destination? Oh yeah, we've got still a little ways to go. Another 2 to 3 stations, I think. Immediately sets up a table with wares for sale. And then it turns out they're all lycanthropic wares. If you don't know what lycanthropy is, it's basically werewolves. Hi, yes. I know that both Minecraft and the party games are very much multiplayer, but with Minecraft, while we do all play on the same map, can visit each other and help each other out, it, for me at least, never really felt like we properly did anything with each other. With the party games, it's always very much something we do together, otherwise they wouldn't even work. Of course, I don't want to replace anything with anything else if people enjoy it, but I'm just not sure. Well, I mean, one thing to consider as well is that with the party games, it's still very much focused on what we're playing. Whether it's with Scribble, where we've only got a set amount of seconds left to draw the thing, or to try to guess what the thing is, and our minds are pretty much exclusively busy with that. But with Minecraft, we talk about all sorts of stuff while we're just playing the game, and it's much more us as people being together as friends and chatting and laughing and that sort of thing. Even if, from a gameplay perspective, in the past, we've not really done as much together as we would have done with things like Scribble.io or with other party games like that. So it also depends on which way you view it at in that respect. I think a few months back I suggested that the game be more together when we moved to vanilla. Yeah, and that is something I was thinking about as well, because when we moved back to vanilla, after we've gotten basic tools and stuff like that, I was, like, the idea that I proposed is to have kind of a randomization system where everybody can put in bits of paper that they've named in an anvil with different projects on them. Maybe everybody gets 1 or 2 of these things or something like that. And then part of everybody's gameplay, part of the stream, people would dedicate towards contributing something to that project. So, for example, someone might put in, I don't know, build an ancient temple or something like that, yeah? And that is a quote, build an ancient temple or something, no, joking. And then someone might start building the foundation, someone else might start gathering resources, someone else might think about the interior, someone else might think about the exterior, someone else might be thinking about locations or stuff like that, and then we build that, or try to build that project together. Maybe not for all of the gameplay time, but maybe part of it, like maybe 1 hour of the stream or something like that. or whatever we feel like, is contributed towards that project, and that might bring people together. I also thought about, I also suggested maybe each of us making our own kind of escape room thing where there are puzzles and maybe if you're that way inclined, also redstone stuff. If you're that way inclined, it's not necessary, but that's maybe something we could do together. And I was also thinking about that. Plus, resource sharing has pretty much always been a thing on our Minecraft worlds, as you know. So, yeah. Plus, we could also try to do maybe a service system, like if we do maybe introduce some sort of currency or something, where you could where each player could maybe open a little stall or something like that, where you could offer a service, like for example, a tunneling service, or that was a bit of a bump, or maybe like Emichu building those stairs, or maybe a redstone service I could maybe do, where I can offer maybe building some contraptions in people's bases, or some stuff like that, where you can hire other people to perform services. But that's all just mechanically being together, so from a gameplay perspective, because from an actual real life human being perspective, the Minecraft streams are the streams where we are together the most, because we're just talking about all sorts of random stuff. Once I get my house done, I expect to mostly just be a handyman for others. I see. I am dumb. Very dumb. Dumb. I wonder, what's that a quote from? It sounds familiar. Are you quoting Anthony Sarson too, by any chance? And the speed limit goes down to 150 in a bit. Yeah, the character discovering their life is all part of game, and the amazement they would feel in such a discovery. Probably you mean their life is a character, or something like that. Or maybe you meant it as is. This is a fine clock. It may wander off on a full moon, however, and eat the toaster. Now the real question is, what is a toaster? I would also be willing to give up my Saturday 6-8 convoy slot, either for D&D or Minecraft, but Demichu did in the past say they'd like to keep a weekend 3, so that's not really an option, unfortunately. Yeah, plus we're already meeting together on so many days of the week, because on Monday we're all meeting together, Tuesday, no, only the 3, then Wednesday we're all meeting together, Thursday, Kango, me, and Emichu are meeting together, then Friday we're all meeting together, and so Saturday, no, but then Sundays, me and Kango and Emichu are meeting together, and then we're back to Monday. So if we added another slot, then I'm not saying that it would be too much, but if it were, it could be, like, I wouldn't want to put someone in the position of having to then either say, actually that's a little too much, or trying not to offend someone, not say that, and go along with it anyway, even though it is a little bit too much. Not saying that that would be the case, of course, but it's just something to consider, perhaps. Another thing, we know, okay. Another thing with, I'm joking. Another thing with Minecraft as party games, I'm not a competitive person, so I give Minecraft a +1 on that aspect. What did that saying just say? Oh, 16. Yeah, right, that's the, yeah. Ingelheim, is that the final? No, we've got mines still to come. But we do have to stop at Ingelheim. So, probably gonna reduce the throttle to coasting. And start braking probably now-ish. Maybe 50% brake, although still getting the hang of this. 55, perhaps. It's also still a bit tricky to get a feeling for the speed with the changes in performance, because with this game, the more it lags, the slower the game runs. By that I mean time will appear to pass slower. Wheel slip? Oh, that's the wrong button. I pressed V for Sander because of trains. I'll turn it off in a moment when I don't have to press and hold X. Yeah, I think I overshot this a little bit. There we go. That wasn't as graceful, but all the doors are technically still on the platform, even that one. Look. All still on the platform. Well, beside the platform, but they're supposed to be beside the platform. Okay. Can't do MC on Saturdays. Yeah. Never mind that then. As in, you'll be the nuclear castle control room wallpaper plasterer. A mysterious box lies under a pile of spell scrolls. Upon further inspection, the side reads, Hungry, hungry hippos. It appears to be some sort of game, perhaps from an alternate dimension. Just kidding. Yes, I like how those two messages work well together. It's about the services suggestion. It is a neat idea, although it still doesn't really feel like the players be really interact. The players are really interact. One says, "Oi, tunnel under there and ear mount and I'll reward you." Under ear mount? What? The other does it while the orderer does other stuff at home. At the end, the orderee gets a reward, and that's that. That's how I imagine it, at least. Well, I mean, with these sorts of things, you'd be going to the site and you'd be showing, okay, I want this to be like that because this is my plan for this, and maybe connect like that, and then it's like, oh, what kind of block palette might you be interested in? And then, well, I was thinking more kind of bricks and that sort of thing, so I'll just build this sort of, this is the kind of style I'm looking for, and then you kind of begin building it and that sort of stuff. So that's how I was imagining it. Well, before electricity, toasters existed for thousands of years as more of a rack one could hold over a place by a fire. One could hold over or place by fire. Yeah, I get that. Well, if it was just up to me, I would give up my Friday Minecraft slot for D&D for these next few weeks. But it's not, so I don't know. Guess we'll bring it up on Monday's stream tomorrow. Yeah. Kango, on the Minecraft streams on Fridays when you're playing, are you still having fun? Like, I mean, I know you're having fun, but do you feel like, I know you're having fun because you're hanging out with everybody, but are you having fun gameplay wise? Because by reading what you've written, to me it kind of sounds like maybe you don't find it that captivating or fulfilling or enjoyable to play. It's okay if not. that can be something we can talk about, maybe. Like, do you maybe just... Because I feel like, because you said with a nuclear castle, for example, when you started it, you were quite excited about it, but then it felt, to me at least, like you kind of got a little bit discouraged with it. Maybe? Your answer is probably going to be something like, well, with all these mods, there are so many things to craft and so many things to make, and I have no idea where to start. That's just a guess on my part, though. I know that you're typing. I know. Yeah, you don't. Okay, yeah, you don't have to continuously telepathically tell me you're typing. I know you're typing. Thank you. And like that, it's Monday, and we're off. Don't want to get wheel slips though, so I'm gonna sand just in case. I wonder, is that signal on the left for me or not? I think it's for the track on the other side. Yeah, I agree with Shardice. Thank you. But in what regard? Sorry, I kind of lost the plot a little with what that message was referring to. Yeah, that was for the other side. Okay, we've still got clears, so that's good. Kango's plot to undermine Minecraft Day has been uncovered. I kid. Yeah, I know you're a kid at heart. That's good. In the proper context. It turns out that castles are made of material that's unsuitable for nuclear fission. I mean, there are traces of radioactive material in most rocks anyway. At least most igneous rocks. Yeah, I am typing. Regarding concern over interest. And please don't feel pressured to respond in any particular way, of course. It's just something I've noticed. Also, I can increase my speed set thing to 160. We've got about 15 and a third kilometers to go to our final stop on this journey. Quite nice. Would you enjoy it more if we banned Amichu? I know I would. I somehow doubt that. Well, I don't really have any plans for it anymore. And it's been that way for quite a few months now. Remember the underground farms, etc.? I did start the nuclear castle about a month ago, but you are right. It just seems like there are so many parts to it all that I don't really think it'd be worth it. Especially since we'll be switching to vanilla quite soon anyway, so it would never really see any use anyway, and so the side of it is really far... and anyway, this... and also... Sorry, and also... So, no, there's... Anyway, and also, the site of it is really far away from everyone, anyway. Else, yeah. I'm trying to keep an eye on the signals while I'm reading it. Sorry. Apologizing to the people in the train, of course, that I'm not paying full attention to the signals, not that I'm not paying full attention to the text, of course. But yeah, like with me, with these projects, it's not necessarily about getting that much use out of them when they're finished. If it is the case, and if it does serve to build more afterwards, that's great. But for me, the majority of the fun is in building the thing in the first place. And yeah, of course nuclear reactors are complicated. They're nuclear reactors. But I mean, like I would love to offer my help with that as well, but the only way I can kind of do that is either by helping you with the wiki and stuff as I'm sitting next to you, which I have offered as well, if you want, to kind of go through it with you step by step of what would be next to build. Or I guess I could craft some of the things for you, but then if the end goal is to have the thing, but you don't think you get much use out of it, then that kind of gets rid of the fun part, which is to make it in some ways. Maybe not with raw resource collection, and I have also offered you access to my resources to help you build it. But I think maybe a good place to start would be to condense all of your resources in whatever place you're going to be building at. Because I've noticed over the course of the last couple of streams where you've been playing that you spend a lot of it running back and forth between the nuclear castle site and the commune site, because you go back then you start to build something, and then you notice you've run out of a particular resource, you go all the way back, you get it, and then you go back and forth, and that takes so much time. I think it might be wise to move your chests, to either move your chests over to the nuclear castle site, or to build all the stuff first at the commune where you've got all your resources, and then once you've got all the stuff prepared, then go over and put it down. Because I think that all of the time used in travel, I need to slow down, might also be a contributing factor to why it might not be that much fun for you anymore. What do you think? Oh, that was going in the wrong direction, sorry. Actually, that is 100, so we need 100 for now. And then it goes down to 80, and then we're at mines. Man, just throw uranium in a blender. How hard can it explosion sound? Now, let's not overshoot mines, especially since the signal at the end might be danger if that's the end of the session. Also, I should probably save quickly. For me though, I had the idea for the nuclear castle and I wanted to build it to help other players out, to supply electricity to them. A fun part was visually designing the exterior of it, but I really don't have any plans for the interior layout. Signal's clear. Slow down for the 80. I did, perhaps unnecessarily, build control rooms and random corridors with stairs, but I really don't know what I should even put in it. Well, I think you're approaching it from maybe from the wrong angle then. Maybe you should start with figuring out what you need machine-wise and then construct a building that fits the technical requirements. And then you can think about making it look good. And about supplying electricity to other players, yeah, I do get that. But, I mean, if that was the intent, to supply electricity to the other players, then building it so far away wouldn't really be that useful anyway if it's because of the distance involved. Unless you're using like battery cars and you're doing it with a railway. But I think the most enjoyment you're going to get out of this project is the journey of building it and of putting it together in such a way that it actually works, and that you've got all the resources, you did all the planning, you placed it down and you connected it and you tested it, and you started it up, and now it's actually working, it's actually generating electricity. And by that point, you'll have so many different Industrial Craft 2 machines that you require to make the thing in the first place, that you'll need electricity to run them for other projects, like, for example, the macerator or an ore washing plant or so many other things. I mean, you could make a teleporter with Industrial Craft 2, and that needs a lot of energy to use. And so you could do that. Or you could make infinite portable energy with RTGs, which are what are they called? Is it RTG? Radioisotopic generator. Yeah. No, radioisotopic. Is it radioisotopic generator? The thermal things, where you can make with the Industrial Craft 2. If you make RTG fuel or whatever it's called, it's basically plutonium pellets, which you can use as an infinite fuel source for these single block generators, and you don't need any sort of other cooling or anything because it just uses the heat from the pellet. And then and you could use that as a mobile source. So if you want to build something somewhere else, then you can just take one of those, build it there. You could use because Industrial Craft 2 has a replicator thing where you can use a lot of energy to make universal matter, as it's called, and then use that to fabricate objects with, items with. And so, well done, today's long shift is now over, and you can enjoy the rest of the afternoon in the sun. Nice. So, you say that with the original idea of supplying energy to the players, if that's not really feasible, there are still loads of uses for this power that you could use yourself, if you wanted to. Hey, we got gold. As if that means anything. But hey, look, no speeding. Okay. Although, thinking about it, I mean, with a project, you've made some progress. Like, you've made some of the Industrial Craft 2 machinery, like the solar panels and the generator and the metal former and the macerator and the extractor and, did I already say electric furnace? And all of that is still really, really useful for other projects. So if you wanted to modify a plan to maybe go in smaller steps or to do something different, the things you've worked for up until now would still be very much useful. So it's completely up to you. It's like there's so many things, especially with all these mods. You could be doing so many things. Like for example, with a roots mod, you can make a magic wand. We haven't really gotten into the roots mod much, but you can, for example, make a magic wand and then load it with spells to do all sorts of different things. For example, one of them is, I think, called Gust, where you can kind of blow entities away, like players even, stuff like that. And that could be fun to play with in multiplayer. And you can use these pyres and things like that to get special magic crops that you can then plant and grow in this. And you can maybe make a witch's greenhouse or something like that and plant them in there. And that could look really very nice from an aesthetic point of view, as well as be useful. And yeah, there's so much stuff in that mod alone that you could maybe use if you didn't really want to do tech stuff that much. Even though you've already got some machines from the Industrial Craft 2 mod, those would still be useful in other mods. For example, the ore doubling from the macerator, or the much cheaper and faster smelting from the electric furnace, and all that sort of stuff. Right. And now that I think about it, with us switching servers back to vanilla very soon, I really don't see the point anymore. I guess it depends on if you're building something like that specifically because you want to use it for a specific purpose, or if you're building something like that mainly because it's fun to build. Now, when I build things like that, it's mostly in the latter, but for you it may be different. Right, exit, shut down, yes. Sounds to me a bit like a Lego set. The fun is in building it all, but once it's done, you may marvel at it, but it really just sits around and collects dust. Depends on what you're building and your attitude towards it. But well, maybe a bit of a strange comparison, but still. In my opinion, sounds like you could shelve the idea and on the new world build a castle with a glowing green basement in homage. A nice idea, but the new world will likely be vanilla. Well, you could still build a glowing basement, like with the trick where you can layer glass. We can put like green glass and then a block space and then green glass again. It kind of creates this layered volumetric fog look. Oh, yeah. Kang, if you want help, some company with a castle, I'd be happy to help. My only plans for my own stuff is to finish the home and build a basic track towards the station area, which Emichu may already be building underground. Which won't take long at all. I imagine I can finish the house tomorrow. Aw. Thank you, I appreciate that, but I really don't know much about all the mods anyway. I mean, nobody knows a lot about something before they start to spend some time with it. You can blow players away. I have built a tall castle. Oh no. True. But I don't really feel like it's worth starting another, at least moderately sizable project. Now the 1.20 is pretty much right around the corner. I know we wouldn't switch immediately, but I wouldn't want to hold up the switching. Finishing a project right at the end before starting with a blank slate again. But then, like, what would you prefer? finishing a project and then working on nothing for a while until the new world begins? I mean, to me that sounds far worse than working on projects until the new thing is there and then switching over to that, because then at least you're having fun working on projects in the world, which is pretty much exclusively what I do. Because otherwise, if you're not working on a project, what are you doing, really? Like, what's your goal? Yeah, oh well. We can discuss it with the others later on. Well, new world, it would be our previous little world, yeah. New area of it. Yeah, I know about Emichu's track, but isn't that from their area? Oh, right, yeah, that's a good point, because Emichu isn't with the... yeah, that's a good point. You're right. If you want more tracks, I think I've still got a few stacks laying around somewhere. I don't know, I mean, we can discuss it later on. I don't really have a goal. Well, then maybe that's something to think about. This would be good. Of course. See you later. Yes, bye-bye. Good night, everyone. Thank you all for coming. It was lovely seeing you all. Good night. Bye-bye. Will come as it takes. Yes. Bye-bye. Good night, yes.